Welcome back. Well, the Hunchback of Notre Dame is coming to the Sullivan Theater. This show will feature songs from the iconic Disney adaptation of this Victor Hugo classic and more. Here to tell us all about it is Scott, Don, Bosco, Mitchell, and Michelle Freneaux. Thank you both for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Okay, so we got a couple of firsts here. First, let's start. Tell us a little bit, for those that aren't familiar with the Hunchback of Notre Dame, talk about the play and what it's about.
Yeah, it takes place in 1482 in Paris, and it is about Quasimodo, who is the deformed bell ringer in the Notre Dame Cathedral, and it explores a lot of themes about humanity and acceptance.
Yeah,
And that's your role, right? You're playing
yes,
Quasimodo?
I play Quasimodo. You know, he's trapped in his bell tower his whole life, and what's cool about the audience is they get to experience the day he finally escapes, right? He's been there for years, but we get to see what happens when he finally leaves. And speaking of acceptance, you know, we have the Romas, you have Esmeralda, played by Ashari Harper, you have the soldiers, played by Matthew Walker, and every single character is intricate to their story, yearning for some form of acceptance, whether it's, can they just see me as a human being? Do they understand the service I've done for this town? Can they see me as a leader? You know, whatever their motivations are, they're just yearning for that acceptance and seeing, can I be seen as a human being right now?
Absolutely. It's a great story. It's a great play and movie if you've never seen any of the above. And also, I mentioned a couple of firsts. Now, Scott, you've been in plays before, but is this is your first lead, is that it?
This is my first main lead, yes sir.
Okay. Any nerves or not at all?
Not really. I've had a great cast. Their support, their love, everyone just lifts each other up in that space. The music director, the director as well, Heath McNeese. We just really all come together to really tell this story, because that's what theater is, right? Telling a story and allowing people to feel seen and take something with them when they leave.
That's right. That's what we try to do here in the news, tell the story. Now, Michelle, we mentioned you're the music director. Is this your first time in that role?
In a community theater aspect, yes. I've done a lot of educational theater, so I've music directed some high school shows before now. But this is our first community theater adult show, and I'm so fired up about it.
Very excited. I was looking through the roster, and I saw you shared a last name with someone else. So in the commercial break, I asked, is your husband in this? But it's not your husband, it's your dad, right?
It's my dad, yes.
Okay, so your dad is one of the actors in the play.
He plays the Archdeacon Claude Frollo, our main villain.
Very, very cool. So this gives you the chance to maybe direct your dad around a little bit.
Yeah, it's nice to tell him what to do.
There you go. Have you guys ever worked together on an actual play?
Yes, we did Rumors together. Okay. That was the very first season at Sullivan just 2 years ago.
So they mentioned the venue, Sullivan Theater, and it's definitely a good venue. Tell us about the dates and the times for the play.
You can catch the Sullivan March 14th to the 23rd. 7:30 are our night shows, and we have matinees on Sundays at 2 o'clock.
Okay. And what about the tickets for admission?
Tickets will run $35 for adults and $25 for
students and children.
And students and children, which is awesome. They get that discount.
Now, this show is based on the Disney musical, but also on the Victor Hugo novel. So you'll see it's a little bit darker than the Disney musical. So parental guidance is advised.
Actually, I'm really glad you mentioned that, because that was going to be my next question. So would you say kids of all ages, or should we kind of tailor who gets in?
I think we've given it a bit of a PG-13
kind of PG-13
rating.
Okay.
So, you know, your little baby's probably not going to enjoy it as much, but you know, obviously your middle schoolers and up, older elementary schools will probably get a lot out of it.
Okay.
Just take a look at it yourself.
Just a little bit darker than Disney. It's good that we mentioned that. Okay, now the shows, they haven't sold out yet, but they could. So remind folks, where can they go to get tickets, and can they also get them at the door?
Yes, you can get tickets at the door, and you can go to sullivantheater.com to get tickets. It's a first thing on our webpage, tickets for Hunchback, and you can get it at the door with cash or card. So whenever you want to come by, just if you get them ahead of time, you'll definitely have a seat.
Very, very
if
cool.
you see our posters, you can scan the QR code.
Oh, excellent. And we're also going to have more information on our WAFB.com page. Stick around. We're going to be right back.